play God. The Siamese twins I've parted, but I can't get started with you.
I wanna be around to pick up the pieces when somebody breaks your heart. Somebody twice as smart as I.
I'd like to call to order the Carpinteria Unified School District Board meeting for April 25th, 2023. Please stand for the flag salute. Okay, C2, our closed session report. Information exchange, no action taken. C3, approval of minutes. Does anybody have questions for the minutes? No? Okay. Public comment on C3, approval of the minutes.
Employee Union President Jay Hochner.
Yes, thank you. Good evening. At the last board meeting, April 11th, I spoke on behalf of district employees. At the time, union leadership encouraged the district to provide employees full legal access to employee health care benefits they are entitled by the Affordable Care Act. Our request was based on a concern that district administration acted again to deny at least 70 employees their earned health care benefits. In the last 2 years, employees who earned as much as $16,000 plus in health care benefits never saw a penny of those earnings. When employees could not afford to purchase the remainder of the district's least expensive health care option, the district simply kept their benefit earnings, failing to provide any mechanism for converting the benefits into either a bonus, access to a low-premium ACA-style plan, or access to a health care savings account, an HSA. Union leadership requested that the board agendize an examination of the low-premium health care options that included an HSA. At the time, we didn't mention that providing such a plan is the district's legal obligation, nor did we mention that last spring in 2022, the district had been fined for not providing such a plan, thus spending the community's tax revenues on legal penalties instead of employee health care. Board President Diamond asked how many CUSD health care plans are available. And while the superintendent sat silent, Ms. Fitzgerald told the board and community that the district offered 6 health care plans, and the Bronze Plan, the only low-premium plan including an HSA, is free. These comments can be verified by reviewing the Part 2 board meeting video at minute 22:35. The union was certain Ms. Fitzgerald's statements were inaccurate, and after seeking data entitled via public information request, the district was required to acknowledge the same. As of April 19th, the district was required to admit that, quote, the district did not offer an HSA plan for the 22-23 school year. Quote, there are no employees on the Anchor Bronze Plan for the 22-23 school year. And, quote, the district has made no contributions to the HSA plan. Meanwhile, not only has the percentage of employees not receiving health care benefits increased under our current administration, but so has the total number of employees who do not receive health care benefits. All the while, the district keeps their benefit earnings. These misleading statements and records should be corrected in the minutes of the April 11th, 2023 board meeting. Thank you.
Any further public comment on C3, approval of the minutes? Okay, may I get a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve the minutes of April 11th.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay, seeing as we have no discussion, may I get a vote? Roll call, right?
No.
Minutes, sorry, oh no, that's agenda and consent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving on. We have our student representative report with Ashley. Take it away.
We got to do
Oh.
that. We got to do the
Consent.
agenda and consent.
I'm sorry, I am just, there we go. Okay. D, C4, approval of agenda and consent agenda.
I move to approve the agenda and the consent agenda.
No,
Oh,
we're not
public
asking
comment.
for a motion. Do we have any questions on the agenda and consent agenda? No questions for staff? Okay, now public comment on C4.
Union President Jay Hochner.
Please let me know when I may begin. Thank you. So regarding item 8 and 9 on the consent agenda, both these items ask the board to, quote, approve the agreement between CUSD and FSA for school-based counseling at Carpinteria High School, Aliso Elementary School, and Summerland Elementary School to the cost of $102,000.529. And, quote, an agreement between CUSD and FSA of SB to the cost of $446,871,000 to reach a grand total of $549,400 of what appears to be 4 FTEs of service, meaning full-time equivalencies for those that aren't familiar with the term. These costs are much higher than the average cost associated with 4 FTEs paid on the salary schedule. Once again, the district must contract out for the kind of highly qualified talent we currently struggle to attract compared to years past. Union leadership does not question the good work of those employed by the Family Services Agency, but the price tag does concern us, and it does, as does the temporary nature of these resources and the challenges we're having hiring qualified candidates. Union leadership continues to encourage the school board to further examine how this expenditure, again, $549,400 of contracted FTE services, which represent a cost much higher than the average cost associated with similar FTEs of permanent employees, is impacted by the staffing shortages experienced by CUSD. Although staffing challenges continue to impact the K-12 system around the nation, this is not Detroit or rural Kansas. CUSD's location is in a very desirable California coastal community that has historically served as an effective lure for talented professionals, and we ask that you consider what other reasons could be impacting the district's attractability at this time. Finally, with items 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all of these are associated with field trips, requests for students across the K-12 system, the high school, CFS, CIF, AVID, Catalino, and Summerland. Union leadership greatly appreciates your willingness to directly invest in these students and similar student experiences, which contextualize their academic and extracurricular experience while at the district. We are certain that these types of programs and trips and experiences lend intellectual Velcro to their overall learning, which may be why these investments serve as some of the greatest memories these kids are going to take with them from the district. So thank you for supporting those requests.
Any further comment on consent agenda or agenda? Okay. May I get a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion from the board? No? Okay, and roll call.
Eric.
Aye.
Aaron.
Aye.
Sally.
Aye.
Jamie.
Aye.
I'm aye.
Thank you. Ashley, please. Thank you.
Excuse my voice, it's a little raspy right now. Carpenter High School is preparing for a busy month of May. The month begins with AP testing for all students enrolled in advanced placement courses. AP testing begins May 1st and ends May 12th. Students have been preparing all year for these tests. We wish you the best. Warrior Athletics are near their final regular season competitions. We want to thank all the athletes, coaches, parents, and fans for an incredible spring season, and we wish the best to the teams continuing with their competitions. CHS students have concluded selecting their courses for the next school year and work on the master's schedule and will begin soon. For those students who did not select their courses, they are highly encouraged to do so soon. Last week, our virtual enterprise team participated in the annual global competition in New York City. They had an incredible time. We want to thank the donors, students, parents, local businesses, and everyone who made it possible. Special thank you goes to Ms. Shamlin for organizing the trip and guiding our students in the VE classes and competition. The VE team will present at the May 9th school board meeting. We look forward to their presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you. Does anybody have questions for Ashley about what's going on at the high school? No? Okay, and public comment?
Union President Jay Hochner.
Thank you. Only to congratulate you on all the accomplishments that you mentioned. And we heard you loud and clear back here. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Ashley. Okay, and on to our superintendent's report.
Thank you. Tonight, I'd like to begin with some appreciation. I'd like to recognize Coach Latham, Athletic Director Cooney, and our CHS student athletes and all the volunteers for a highly successful 103rd Russell Cup track and field meet held last Saturday with 43 small schools and 843 athletes participating. My next item is the district office trespassers. Last Thursday in the afternoon, 2 males climbed over a neighbor's fence onto the district office property looking for an exit. District office staff approached them, and they reported that they were parent volunteers of a Catalino student. Staff requested that they accompany her to the Catalino office to check out as required by school procedures. Staff was escorting the 2 males towards the Catalino office when they exited through the Catalino emergency gates. Staff then called 911 when she realized that these males were not truthful about their identities and notified Catalino principal and school office. District office cameras captured the trespassers at the district office, and the photo was shared with the deputy sheriff. We are grateful for the district office staff who was observant and followed all of our safety protocols. Following this trespassing incident, the district will add cameras at all elementary sites. Currently, there are no cameras at Catalino nor at Aliso or Summerlin, and we will add those cameras to the sites this summer. Both the middle school and the high school already have school site cameras. My next item is the extended learning for summer of 2023. Elementary students will have the opportunity to attend Fun in the Sun, an academic and enrichment summer program offered by United Way at Aliso School, June 19th through the 28th, 8:30 to 4:30. Middle school and high school students who have failed math and English or are English language learner students will participate in 80 hours of summer school from June 14th to July 14th. And special ed students will participate in extended year classes both at Aliso and the high school, June 14th to July 14th. Now I have some information from the CDE website regarding teachers. State Superintendent of Public Instruction Tony Thurman testified before the Senate Education Committee last week in support of his bill to address the teacher shortage. Senate Bill 765 is authored by Senator Anthony Portantino and offers viable, comprehensive solutions to the current teacher shortage by making it easier for retired educators to return to the classroom while providing financial incentives to those who want to become teachers. Senate Bill 765 is a critical piece of legislation that will enable our schools to meet the immediate needs of students by allowing long-time qualified educators back in the classroom and offering long-term solutions that include removing financial barriers to entering the profession to combat the California teacher shortage. Teacher shortages are a growing national issue, exacerbated by COVID-19, and California is no exception. Moving this bill forward is a huge step in the right direction to address one of the most pressing problems facing California public education. According to the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing, there are more than 10,000 teacher vacancies across California during the last school year. Senate Bill 765 offers a much-needed solution to this crisis by allowing retired CalSTRS members to return to an education position in a more expeditious manner and with great consistency. The bill removes the 180-day sit-out requirement under certain circumstances before a retiree can return to an educational position and lifts the CalSTRS recommended compensation cap on retirees' earnings. And the next item is related to our own staff recruitment. We are recruiting for the following certificated positions: speech and language pathologist, SPED teachers at the elementary and high school level, 2 elementary bilingual teachers, an elementary music teacher, a bilingual social studies teacher at the middle school, and a CTE culinary teacher at the high school. My next item is exciting in that we are now planning for CTE pathways at the middle school. We are submitting a CTE grant to increase opportunities for the CMS grade 8 students to participate in a CTE wheel. So that would be culinary and agricultural classes during the first period next year at CHS. CMS teachers are also piloting Get Focused, Stay Focused, which is early career exploration and social skills curriculum next year in their survey classes. My next item is related to our 30 students who attended New York, the virtual enterprise students who traveled to New York last week to participate in the Virtual Enterprise Youth Business Summit. Thousands of rising young professionals and budding entrepreneurs from over 40 countries, educators, school district administrators, business leaders, and industry professionals gathered together for this one-of-a-kind global convention. During a dynamic week of business competitions, leadership events, and professional networking, rising talent from middle and high schools around the world display their professional skills that they've developed by running a virtual enterprise company during the school year. And those students will join us next board meeting, May 9th, to show us the businesses that they have created and share with us their experiences at the summit. And the last item is Measure U. Our summer school project will be completed when the field is re-landscaped and the additional play toys installed this summer. We are completing the CHS engineering lab with a final furniture order. Plans for the Catalino Library Media Center have been submitted to DSA, and this month we'll meet with architect Robert Robles to discuss the Aliso TK and K projects. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for Diana on the superintendent's report? Okay. Public comment?
Union President Jay Hochner.
Please let me know when I may begin. With all respect, the superintendent's report presents a highly sterilized version of the intruder event on Thursday, April 13th. It leaves out significant details that rightfully alarmed and continue to alarm district employees and parents. Ms. Rigby's newest version is in conflict with the statements from Catalino and CFS employees, and it's in conflict with the different versions of events offered by Principal Pursoon in the days following the event. Ms. Rigby's version seems designed to downplay the intruder event and the potential safety threat it represented and still represents. The newest version leaves out a variety of details, including the intruder event began at the DO and spilled over to the family school and Catalino campuses when immediate measures to report the intruders were not taken. 911 was not immediately called. Meanwhile, the intruders were permitted to enter the school sites adjacent to the district office, where district personnel and students remained entirely unaware that the intruders were on campus. Although the intruders were on the district property for at least 10 minutes, possibly more, there was no school-wide notification or alert of an intruder on campus. This meant, and picture this in your heads, this meant that teachers continued to send aides and students, our children, out into the open and public spaces of campus while the intruders were present. That the Catalino school site plan was claimed to be followed does not mean employees followed all safety protocols as claimed by the superintendent. The Catalino school site plan is intended to be used in unison with CUSD's Hour Zero incident response protocols. Superintendent Rigby's statement that district employees, quote, followed the district safety protocols are in complete conflict with the district's Hour Zero safety training and protocols. Again, district office, CFS, and Catalino personnel did not receive any immediate alert or notification at these, as these hour zero trainings and protocols require. The superintendent report failed to mention that neither the Catalino principal was immediately notified, nor was 911 called until after the intruders fled on their own volition from the campus. Based on changing versions of the intruder event shared by the Catalino principal, along with the increasingly sterilized version of events by Ms. Rigby, a public request for information has been submitted. We've already included you all in that submittal so you could take a look at it. The request is designed to gain a better sense of both the intruder's actions and the district's actual response, to include response timelines, video surveillance, police reports, and administrative communications to each other and to the district personnel, parents, and employees. Thank you.
Any other comments for the superintendent's report? Okay. As Superintendent Rigby stated, we're going to get our virtual enterprise presentation at the next school board meeting. So we are moving on to public comment on items not on this agenda.
We have a few. We're going to begin in the order they were handed to me. Ingrid Bostrom.
Hello, members of the board. My name's Ingrid Bostrom, and I'm a parent of a Catalino student. Pardon me for my voice quivering. This is a difficult situation for all of us. If all safety procedures were indeed adhered to during the intruder event on April 13th, I'm not left with confidence in the systems in place. 2 trespassers wandered the campus for at least 10 and perhaps up to 17 minutes without the majority of staff, including Principal Pursoon, being made aware. Yes, of course, we all breathe a huge sigh of relief that our children and educators were not harmed. And now is the time to reevaluate and restructure so that we're never left wondering, did we do enough to protect our children? Tragically, we no longer live in a society where a wait and see approach is sufficient. Considering the school violence epidemic in our country, why does protocol encourage administration to engage in conversation with intruders as a first step? Why does the school site plan disempower staff and faculty by directing them to contact administration when an obvious threat is recognized and they themselves could act swiftly? I'm also desperately trying to understand why there was an assumption that these men were without weapons. Aren't we now speculating that they intended to rob a house minutes earlier? There is no reason to assume they were without weapons. I'm grasping to comprehend how so much time passed without a 911 call, and why it would take so long for the trespassers to escape campus if that's what they intended. Superintendent Rigby, why haven't parents heard a statement directly from you regarding this incident? Thank you.
Thank you.
Union President Jay Hochner. Sorry, next Union President Jay Hochner.
And I'd be happy to go out of order if that's what we do.
No, just go ahead.
Please let me know when I may begin. No. Okay, so I've worn a few hats in the district. A parent of 2 precious daughters attending the district schools, a teacher having served 20 plus years at the middle school, and a union president elected to represent district employees for about as long. The intruder event at Catalino concerns me on all 3 levels, parent, educator, and union president. As a parent, the concern that I have for my daughter, a student at Catalino, is tremendous. But tonight, I have to set that parent role aside because it's in my professional roles as an educator and a union president that I've been provided a much more intimate view of the district's historic and current safety posture. Many years of professional insight inform union leadership's understanding of the intruder event. The safety response that occurred is not an isolated problem at either the DO, the family school, or at Catalino. Currently, the district's safety posture to the untrained eye may look good on paper, but as this intruder event has demonstrated, it has the effectiveness of a paper airplane. To be clear, the district's safety posture and response does not function as district leadership claims. It does not function like the variety of documents, site plans, and training manuals district leadership uses to justify its actions. The recent intruder event laid bare the disconnect between what is on paper and the functional safety response that exists on our school sites and facilities. Some will say the union is fear-mongering. We are not. It's no easier sharing this message than it is hearing it. The district families recently got lucky, but that does not make CUSD's safety posture acceptable. It should not promote complacence or a false sense of confidence in our leadership, our policies, or in our alleged practices. And although accountability matters, even more important is improvement, doing better. And fortunately, appropriate expressions of concern are already having an effect. Catalino administration now recognizes that the long recommended changes need to be made. Some of those are already in motion. Better monitoring of who isn't and is on campus, reducing the number of access points during student drop-off and pickup, during instructional time and after-school program hours. Exterior doors are being closed and new doors are being considered. Surveillance cameras may even be installed. And importantly, a broad group of Catalino stakeholders are beginning to examine the difference between safety practices on paper and safety protocols and training and practices intended to deliver results on the ground. For union leadership, these are all positive steps forward. And we have more to suggest in regard to those, and we'll be mentioning them later in the meeting. Thank you.
Next, we have Aja Forner.
Hello. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Aja Forner, mother to 2 children at Catalino, and daughter to an instructional aide at family school. Excuse me. School is a place of learning. We drop our most prized possessions off every morning, hopefully bright and early, with a kiss and have a good day. We set them to be safe and to learn. Recently, that safety has been compromised, not once, but twice. On March 22nd, a mentally ill woman entered a TK classroom during school hours. She was escorted back out to the parking lot by a staff member. Thankfully, no children or staff were hurt. Less than a month later, 2 men were able to access campus during school hours again. These men were allowed to walk around, evading staff who were questioning their intentions. During this time, 4th and 5th graders are out at lunch, and the kindergartners are coming out for their 3rd recess. And all that was done about these men, per the comprehensive safety protocol, was, and I quote, politely greet the intruder, introduce yourself, and ask the intruder what their purpose is, and inform them they must leave the main office. Oddly enough, the men fled and have managed to evade police, so we have no answers. Again, school is a place of learning. I ask that this be a learning lesson. Please consider updating protocols to meet the climate we are currently living in. Unfortunately, school shootings are happening more and more. The protocols in place are not enough to protect our children and staff. Our kids deserve better.
Thank you.
Next, we have David Blice. Sorry. David Blice, sorry.
Well, hi, my name is David Blaze, and I have 2 boys at Catalino. Well, one is going to be at Catalino next year. And I just have to echo what everybody else has been saying. And today, picking up my son, I watched the high school baseball team want to hop the fence to get to the field because they all came in at different times. I didn't really care about that whatever. There's a bunch of stuff going on, and everybody wants to make going and coming harder, this and that. And one of the parents thought, just wait, you're going to be barbed wire on the fence. There's a lot of wall mongering going on. I could see it. People are irritated. Well, just take all the gates down, let it be wide open. Let's just go that route. That ain't going to work. Because I go to a lot of different people's houses for my job of employment here in Carpinteria, There's people getting their mail stolen by people who don't even live here. People are going into people's houses in the middle of the day while they're home, and now they're putting in gates because they don't feel safe. There's just a lot of unwanted traffic in CARP, and it's not just the 101. It's just there's people doing bad things. And when pressure's on and they're in trouble, they might go through they might go through Catalino, they might go through Aliso, they might go through the middle school. Desperate people do desperate things. And may not happen on our watch, but are we just going to sit around and wait for that? I just ask that, in this day and age too, technology, there's inexpensive rings. As soon as motion's detected, it should light up the teacher's phone. She shouldn't have to go through Principal Pursoon, who I respect dearly. She runs a tight ship, no doubt about it. But she can't watch everything. And I feel like she shouldn't have to, the administrators, teachers shouldn't have to go through her through via email or whatever it is. There should be like a page or a button. Close the doors, get them inside right away. Seconds count. Seconds add up to minutes. Quick. So things happen quick. Like I said, desperate people do desperate things. Even parents who are upset. I want to go take my kid. I'm pissed off at my wife, whatever. Dude, I want the cops to be called on that guy. Person, woman, whatever. I don't care who they are. If I jump the fence and I'm pissed off, I want the cops to come get me. So that's all I got to say. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, look.
Next, we have Andrea Leonello.
Hi, how are you guys? Good. Good evening. My name is Andrea Leonello. Sorry. I got this. I'm a mother of a Catalina first grader and a future kindergartner. I swear I wasn't going to do this. I'm here this evening to ask for your support to initiate a review of our comprehensive school safety plan with the support of this room full of parents who are willing to help us. While I don't feel it's necessary to rehash the April 13th incident, I do feel we can agree that safety protocols are the front-running topic. Sorry, can't see. What I do feel is necessary, we all recognize the current epidemic of school violence. What do you call a person who enters a school campus and commits an act of violence, an intruder or a trespasser? In Section 12 of the Safety School Plan, the definition of the intruder states, quote, an unauthorized person who enters school property. The third item listed below the intruder is to politely greet the guest and the intruder, like Asia said. Unfortunately, times have changed. We can't afford to not make some of these changes. Again, we have a room full of parents who will work with you in unison with the administration and the district to help strengthen our safety system while continuing to preserve our small town and home-felt campus community. The budget for our help and support will cost you nothing, while our staff and student safety is priceless. I think it sounds like a good plan to me. I hope you can understand we're here to be proactive, so please take us up on this and let us know how we can support you guys in return. Thank you for your time, and I will close with a feel-good quote. I think things come in our lives to help us get from one place to a better place. Thank you, Ted Lasso.
Thank you. Any further public comment on items not on the agenda? Okay. I just want to take a moment and say thank you to the parents that showed up. And my child is on that campus as well. I have always made myself available, and the board members, we're all available, and you are more than welcome to come to us as well. Like, you don't have to wait for, my point is, you don't have to wait a week for a board meeting. You can come straight to us. You have access to all of us at any point. Please come and speak. I'm in no way trying to discourage this. My point is, you don't have to wait for a board meeting to talk to a board member. And you don't have to wait for a board meeting to voice a concern. I want you to know. everybody here, including Mrs. Pursoon, whoever the principals are at the various school sites, board members, Superintendent Rigby are here to listen, and it shows through actions that have already taken place at Canalino with the protocols for pickup during the after-school program. Cameras are already slated to be installed. The push gates were already authorized to, I believe we passed that. We wanted that to happen previously, so that's coming. It's just getting the bids for that, and the process, unfortunately, we have to go through the push gate. So thank you. I want to say thank you for coming tonight, and know that you don't have to wait for a board meeting to talk to a board member or to voice concerns, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, still me. All right. We are moving on to F1, warrants. The board is asked to approve the warrants for the period of April 7th, 2023 through April 20th, 2023 in the amount of $1,125,000.48. Warrants are issued once a week on Thursdays. The report format shows check number, check date, payee, brief account description, payment comment, and check amount. Do we have any questions on the warrants? Public comment on F1 warrants.
Union President Jay Hochner?
Oh, no, thank you. No comments on warrants.
Any further public comment on F1 warrants? Seeing none, may I please get a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve the warrants of April 7th through April 20th.
Second.
Second.
Eric
second.
Bridgeford, second. Any discussion? Seeing none, vote please. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to F2, gifts, grants, and donations. A donation from Carpinteria Education Foundation, CEF, to Carpinteria Unified School District for literacy needs. The board is asked to accept the donation from Carpinteria Education Foundation of $14,000 to Carpinteria Unified School District for literacy needs. Any questions? Public comment?
Union President Jay Hochner?
Thank you. So once again, union leadership wants to thank those community members who provide grants and gifts to the CUSD with no unethical or unprofessional strings attached.
I just want to thank you. I got to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
These gifts from the CEF are greatly appreciated, once again demonstrating why Carpinteria is known for being a generous community. These gifts serve to support community children and their families, which in turn, as we always tell you, comes back to provide a variety of predictable and even unpredictably positive benefits. Thank you.
Any further comment on, public comment on F2, gifts, grants, donations? No. Okay. May I get a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? I'd like to say a thank you, a huge thank you to the Carpinteria Education Foundation, but even further to our community, because that's where these funds come from. So thank you so much. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to Measure U, G1, approval of proposal from Blue Space Interiors for furniture for the engineering lab. The board is asked to approve that the purchase of furniture for the Carpinteria High School Engineering Lab under the terms and conditions of the cooperative purchasing agreement with Sourcewell. Contract number OT 8147CZ2. The items listed in the proposal will be purchased using a cooperative purchasing agreement number 0T8147CZ2. That is a Sourcewell awarded contract. This process allows CUSD to take advantage of the best possible pricing derived from a bid. Copies of the Sourcewell bid, publication, and notice of award are available in the facilities department offices. The cost of the services is not to exceed $78,019.77 and will be paid with Measure U bond funds. Do we have any questions? Okay, public comment on G1.
Union President Jay Hochner.
No further comments until H, personnel. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments for this item? Okay, may I get a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve. I'll second.
Any discussion? I'm glad this is happening, but I'm frustrated with that the engineering lab still isn't finished, and it's almost the end of the school year, but it'll be ready and great for next year. Okay, may I get a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. G, Measure U. G2, approval of proposal from Central Coast Playgrounds for Summerlin School. The board is asked to approve the quote from Central Coast Playgrounds for the installation of a play structure at Summerlin Elementary School. The cost for the installation is $5,720 and will be paid with Measure U bond funds. Any questions from the board? Public comment? Anybody? No? Okay, and may I get a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion on this item? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
G3, approval of proposal from DuraSafe Rubber Playground Tiles, Summerlin School. The board is asked to approve the purchase of rubber playground tiles from DuraSafe for Summerlin Elementary. The cost for the playground tiles is $19,576.35 and will be paid with Measure U bond funds. Any questions? Any public comment? Seeing none, may I get a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4, approval of proposal from Landscape Structures Summerlin School. The board is asked to approve the purchase of the toy structure from Landscape Structures for Summerlin School. The cost of the structure is $3,045 and will be paid with Measure U bond funds. Questions? Okay. And I just want to clarify, this is for the structure itself. The other item was for the,
The rubber matting.
no, the
There's two
2 was for the installation,
Right.
just to be clear. Okay. Did we get a first and a second?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Did we?
Oh,
I made a motion.
yes, Andy did make a motion.
Who did the second?
Eric?
I'll second.
Okay.
Right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. H, personnel. H1, personnel summary. The board is asked to approve the following recommended personnel items: resignation for personnel, co-curricular assignment for personnel. Any questions? And public comment on H1 personnel summary.
Union President Jay Hochner.
Thank you. So at the last meeting, with 4.5 full-time equivalent employees on the way out and 1.75 full-time equivalent employees joining the CUSD, we heard the superintendent tell the community that we should be applauding the work of the HR director in the department for the, quote, remarkable efforts in recruiting new staff. This evening, the district announces that another 4 employees are resigning from the district in the middle of the school year, with no announcements of new employees. Once again, not to sound like a broken record, but something isn't adding up here. Union leadership continues to encourage the school board to examine and explore what that is. Thank you.
Any further public comment on H1? Hearing none, may I get a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
A second?
Any discussion? And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. H2, corrected 2022-23 and 2024-25 instructional calendar. The board is asked to approve the corrected 2022-23 and 2024-25 school year instructional calendar. At the April 11th, 2023 school board meeting, the board approved the 22-23 and 23-24 and 24-25 instructional calendars. The 22-23 and 24-25 calendars included in that meeting were inadvertently the wrong ones. We are now approving the correct versions. Any questions? Any public comment?
Union President Jay Hochner.
Moment.
No.
I just want to make sure I have the right statement. Okay, thank you. So this has been a bit frustrating, I'm sure, for you and for the union. On April 17th, after the last board meeting, union leadership learned that the CUSD HR department provided at the last school board meeting held on April 11th the incorrect tentative calendar agreement for 24-25 to be ratified. And so that was ratified by yourselves. Then it was published across the community. At that time, union leadership acted on the assumption that the district's actions were in error, and therefore cause leadership demanded that the district both A, act immediately to resolve the issue by taking all necessary steps to reverse its actions, correct the record, and ratify the correct tentative agreements, and B, review the entire ratification effort thoroughly to identify other similar errors that may exist in the district's efforts to ratify said tentative agreements. Eventually, we were assured by a board member and by the district administration that they would act to resolve this single calendar error. However, unfortunately, on April 19th, another clear error was found by the union again and by our members on another ratified document by the school board, presented the incorrect document again presented to you, the 2022-23 CUSD school calendar, which was also published to the CUS community and had not yet been taken down, thus creating further confusion and inefficiency for district employees and families and union leadership. Although it's becoming just a little harder to maintain this posture, union leadership again assumed that the district's actions were again in error. Cause leadership submitted the same demands it had when the first error was identified. We hope tonight's effort to ratify these agreements is more successful and accurate than the last, because the oversight role that we play in this district is exhaustive. Thank you.
Any further public comment on H2? Okay, may I get a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Discussion? Okay. I would just like to say that as the board, we are presented with the documents with the agenda, and if there is an error, there's no way for us to know that there was an error on that, first of all. And I'd also like to point out that it was all submitted as one package. It wasn't multiple meetings with multiple things that were approved in error. It was as one package. And so when the errors were pointed out, the response was, this was an error, we will correct it, which we are doing right now. I would also like to say that the other calendars, the incorrect calendars, were published with the agenda, so previous. So I'm
You could have been aware?
No, I couldn't have been aware.
They were published.
Excuse me, I'm not going to go back and forth with the public right now. I am making my comments. The board wouldn't have known that there was an error because that's what we were presented as what was accurate. So, with that, we're going to vote to approve the proper calendars. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Back. Aye.
H3, initial proposal from the Carpinteria Unified School District to the Carpinteria Association of United School Employees, Certificated Unit, Local 2216 for 2023-2024. The board is asked to review the attached initial proposal from the Carpinteria Unified School District to Carpinteria Association of United School Employees Certificated Unit Local 2216, 2023-2024. Fiscal implications to be determined. Any questions? Public comment on H3.
Union President Jay Hochner.
Thank you. I didn't actually intend to speak on this topic, but we should mention that this is the first step in what will be the next annual cycle for contract bargaining. These cycles tend to take a year, which is why it's been a little flabbergasting for the union and our colleagues to be hearing all along that we should be done with this. Why don't we have agreements yet? This is a year-long annual process, often takes more than a year. I believe that the union's response is due to you by the second board meeting in in May, and so it will be. And likely not before that because we're still bargaining the 22-23 school year. Thank you.
Any further public comment? Okay, may I get a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve the initial proposal from CUSD to cause.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, that brings us to I, board announcements. Anybody?
Well, I would just
Go
like
for
to
it.
state that despite some of the comments, this is a really outstanding school district, and I can attest to that because for the last 4 days, I have sat with 45, 46 seniors at the high school who have applied to the Carpinteria Education Foundation for scholarships to attend four-year universities, as well as quite a few of them that are going on to City College. We awarded virtually everybody that we spoke to some kind of an award, including several of the City College students who after 2 years will then receive money for them to transfer to four-year universities. I want to assure the public that the students at the high school are an amazing group of students. Not only do they get amazing grades, they participate in sports, they're participating in activities, some of them work, and many of them then go home and take care of siblings in the household. I think it's a tribute to the system that we have here in Carpinteria that these students are as successful as they are. And it gives the Education Foundation, as well as all the donors who contribute to those scholarship funds, of which there was close to $60,000, that we can award these students these awards, and that they're going to go on and come back here and really make a difference in our community. So I thank all of you and them.
Anybody else?
Just that we're, getting close to the end of the year, right? And there's all these things wrapping up, the sporting events and the end of year ceremonies and the prom and all that. And it just, again, what Sally was saying, that the community involvement and the parents and the students all coming together, it's really what makes this town great. And I think it's exemplified by the caliber of student that we end up with as a senior here. Every year over year, we have fantastic young people who end up going on and accomplishing great things. And I really think it's our system here in Carpinteria, is fantastic.
Agreed. Anybody else? I just want to reiterate open houses. So we had the middle school open house last week. I've heard great things. I want to thank the CMS ASB for putting on a great open house. They really helped orchestrate a lot of that evening. And then I'd like to remind folks, May 4th is Summerlin School, May 15th is the high school, May 18th is Aliso, and May 25th is Canalino and Family School. And all families are welcome to go to open house at any school site. Just because your student doesn't go there, maybe they're going to be going there, please feel free to go and check it out. I will be going, I believe, to the remaining open houses, and I'd like to encourage school board members, even if it's not your school that your students are at, to go to. Meet with the teachers, meet with families, make yourself available. We will be, this Thursday, several of us will be honoring Sonia Aguila Gonzalez, our Teacher of the Year, the county's Teacher of the Year, the state's Teacher of the Year, National Bilingual Teacher of the Year, at the County School Board Association annual dinner in Santa Ynez this Thursday night, and I'm really excited for that. She deserves so much and so much more. So very excited for that. And I had an opportunity this last weekend. Assemblymember Greg Hart hosted a trail walk from Tomel Interpretive Playground to the Bluff Seal Rookery. One of his staff is actually a school board trustee for Goleta Unified School District. And I got to have a great conversation with another school board member in a nearby district. And it was just a really great opportunity. There's going to be more events like that coming up with Assemblymember Hart, and it's just a great opportunity to meet with other members of the community. People from the Trails Council were there, and it was a great time to be outside during Earth Day weekend. So yeah, that was great. And that's it for board announcements. Moving on to J, board calendar. The board is asked to approve the updated 2023 board action events calendar. This calendar will be included with the agenda to keep the board focused on actions and events that take place annually. Monica?
We just didn't have a date for the second meeting in June, and now we do, which is June 20th. It's
Great.
right there.
June 20th is that second meeting in June for the board. Okay, any questions from the board on that? Public comment?
Union President Jay Hochner?
On calendar, no. Thank you.
Okay, motion to approve?
I move to approve the board calendar.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay, and future agenda items. We have the 2023-24 budget development, spring school board tours, and the LCAP presentation. Any questions from the board? Public comment on K, future agenda items.
Union President Jay Hochner?
You'll please let me know when I may begin. No. Thank you. Earlier, I shared that union leadership looks forward to sharing other opportunities for improvement to the CUSD's safety posture. We asked that the quality of the district's safety response is examined transparently at an upcoming board meeting to be agendized. Although it appears that the Catalino principal is beginning to hear and implement the best practices that have been placed before her and the superintendent for years, the ultimate responsibility of the safety posture of Catalino and the entire district belongs to Superintendent Rigby, her senior leadership team, and yourselves, the Board of Trustees. And in regard to the comprehensive safety posture of the district, we still have a long way to go beyond the immediate fixes that they're looking at Catalino. A long way to go to return the district to the level of safety we knew before Superintendent Rigby arrived, and before she thoroughly divested in years of hard work and collaboration, implementing a significantly more effective safety posture in the district. Fortunately, we know what needs to be done because we've done it before. CUSD is capable of implementing much-needed safety improvements, and in the last few weeks, union leadership has acted to both contractualize and remind district leadership of the specific initiatives that once characterized our response posture. We mentioned standardized school, site, and facility registration processes that were, again, standardized across the district to ensure that we knew who was and wasn't on our campus and facilities at all times. We encouraged a district-wide security badging system to easily identify district personnel, routine visitors, substitute teachers, parents, helpers, mentors, contractors, and guest visitors from intruders and trespassers. We promoted a single access point policy at school sites and facilities to include all hours, instructional and after-school program. We also encourage a district-wide CPR and first aid training to be brought back to the district for every district personnel. Certification does not have to be mandatory, but certainly wouldn't we want every adult on the district properties to know CPR and first aid, or at least have exposure to it? We also thought it's time to reinitiate the significantly more robust and effective school site and district safety committees. Let's return to the previously inclusive, well-informed, and transparent committees we knew before Ms. Rigby arrived. Committees that would include parents, site administrators, counselors, student representatives, site faculty and support staff, CUSD department directors and supervisors and elected union representatives, and mental health specialists. And at the district level, external agency partners such as law, fire, rescue, Carpinteria Planning, Santa Barbara Ready, Set, Prepare, FEMA, and parent leaders and PTA leaders. This is what it looked like upon the arrival of Ms. Rigby. Again, these improvements can be successful and they can be implemented. We've done it before.
Thank you.
Unfortunately today, we have to say this, unfortunately today, the district rejected each one of those in contract bargaining.
Your time is up.
Rejected
Your
it.
time is up.
For, quote, to maintain
Your time
the status
is up.
quo. Thank you.
Any further public comment? May I get a motion to approve the future agenda items? Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry, no, any board discussion on future agenda items? Okay, hearing none, we are going to move to L, adjournment, and we are adjourned.
All of you. It's a lazy afternoon, and the beetle bugs are zooming, and the tulip trees are blooming, and there's not another human in view but us two. It's a